Welcome to another episode of the Mind Matters podcast. I'm Laura Kern Ellis, a multi-certified hypnotherapist and transformational life coach. I've been in private practice since 2010. I want to talk to you today about getting real in your relationships. As most of you know, living on planet Earth presently is very intense. But living in a victim consciousness that most likely was not brought on intentionally from you, but by default, based on past programming. Okay? So I want you to know that and you may not even be aware that you have become a victim of your circumstances. Okay? But we're going to talk about it being victim consciousness here today. And it is full of extremes, and it can be very intense. And yes, I'm talking about relationships, okay? And the relationships that we enter into and causing potentially drama, pain, peaks and valleys of your emotions. This journey that most of my clients and most individuals are challenged with regarding relationships can be very overwhelming most of the time. So I'm getting real here. And although I, in my past, have experienced ups and downs and, not choosing the right partner, not because I didn't want to give love or be loved, but many years ago, especially in my first marriage, I've been married twice, it wasn't even a matter of being in love. It was more of needing something from that individual. Although, when we're in our teens and 20s, early 20s, we don't know very much, although we may think that we do. Okay? So I know that those of you that are listening to this and that have been in relationships that were less than satisfying, at times feel like throwing in the towel, and maybe you should, but not before you understand what's going on at its core. Okay? Being overwhelmed is never a good thing. It's never pleasant, and it blocks energy, so you're not able to think clearly. Okay? And it may cause you to lose faith. And we need faith. We certainly do today more than ever. Okay? So healing is first and foremost. And this process of healing is not for the weak. And I believe that if you were led to this podcast, that you're a strong and capable individual and capable of succeeding in a happy life, better relationships, beyond your wildest dreams. And I also believe that you listening to this has what it takes to free yourself from old habits, beliefs, and patterns that most likely weren't yours, that were taken in by default by your primary caretakers when you were little. And it happens to all of us in varying degrees and also different circumstances. Okay? So I want you to think about this carefully for a moment. There's no more energy, and everything is energy, okay, vibrating at different levels, as human beings on this planet are also vibrating at different levels depending on how advanced they are in their wisdom and their spiritual walk. Okay? So think about this. It doesn't require any more energy or effort to aim high in life, in relationships, to create happiness, to create abundance and health. Then is required to accept misery, poverty, and emotional pain. It's a very fine line, a paradigm shift, if you will, that's needed. The energy levels are the same. Okay? So you can be miserable or you can be extremely happy. And I'm happy to say that in the moments of feeling overwhelmed, they no longer need to last for long periods of time, okay? You just need to remind yourself, first and foremost, awareness is key, of what I just stated to you. It doesn't take any more energy to be happy than it does to be miserable. Now, going back to relationships, primarily. We attract that which is familiar to us, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So here's an example. If your parents were arguing all the time, saying very hurtful things to one another, in front of you or not in front of you, you could be in your crib at the times these things were taking place, if they were, and your unconscious mind is taking in all that information like a sponge soaking in water up until you're 10 years of age. Okay? Third trimester in the womb up until 10 years of age, your unconscious mind is being programmed. So today, as an adult, you're acting out on programs that were instilled in you at a very young age. This could be perhaps your spouse now is being verbally abusive to you, or condescending to you, or physically abusive to you. You are not created to accept breadcrumbs. You were not created to accept less than. Understand that if these situations have been happening to you, if you've been married a few times and notice there's a pattern, or in relationships a pattern with people that you're attracting on the same vibratory levels, this is past conditioning. Okay, it's not your fault. You've been programmed. So what do you do about it? Well, you become aware, as you are somewhat right now listening to what I'm sharing with you. Okay? And also, it's very important to move forward in life and be set free. Hypnotherapy is the answer. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it's not. Because with hypnotherapy, we go directly to the unconscious mind where all of these programs lie and continue playing like a reel-to-reel tape recorder over and over and over until, okay, the cause is diffused. Cause being what it is that you had been subjected to before the age of 10. This can also go back generations, okay? For example, your spouse is always complaining and not being forthcoming about sharing a bank account. That's an example, okay? So you're being controlled, in other words, all right, manipulated. Chances are that someone in your spouse's family, okay, paternal father, maternal mother, also had been programmed the same way. So your spouse is playing out, or you are, because you attracted them, the programs that you had been subjected to before the age of 10. That being said, at the end of this podcast, which I'm going to close it up in just a few seconds here, this is going to be a short one, you'll see on the screen where you can grab your free copy of the ebook I have written, which is all about relationships and toxic relationships. And also you can go to the website there. I left it on the, it'll be on the screen, and grab your free copy of the ebook. And then once you do, let me know your thoughts and so forth. And if you have any questions, because I am happy to answer them. I'm happy to watch my clients be set free once and for all. Going to the root cause in your subconscious mind, accelerated change, diffusing the old programs, dehypnotizing, if you will, and reprogramming with new, healthier programs. That's all for now. Everyone take care, and I'll see you on the next one.